want to go over some things about being successful. All right. Let's see what I got here. Oh man, did I had it? Okay. I'm going to talk to you about personality assessment. This test I do, Myers-Briggs, really recommend it. It has like 72 questions and has 4 different categories, or actually 8. If you're more of an extrovert, meaning you get energy when you're around people, or introvert, meaning you get energy when you're alone. And sometimes you'd be kind of in the middle on those. The next one is intuitive, meaning creative. It's like a police officer, someone who likes the rules. And then creative people are usually intuitive. They like to make the rules or break the rules, or make a better rule. They make good legislators. The next one after that is feeling or thinking. And the thinking people, or the feeling people, will cry at a movie or a sad part, where thinking people won't. And feeling people feel embarrassed, they're loud, they're crying at a movie. But the thinking people are like, whoa, wait, why am I not feeling the same emotions as that person? So just be what you are. And then the next one is perceiving or judging. Judging people just like to make a quick decision and get it over with. Come on, let's get this done. We got other things to do. Or perceiving people like to shop around and then make a decision. They'll read all the reviews, they'll watch all these different things. I mean, it's good to take this test. Myers-Briggs, you can download it, PDF file. If I was coaching people, I would say, I want you to take this test, kind of help you see what you are. Because I'll tell you what, because you can try and set out on a goal and you're not really wired for that. Or just one person say, we're not overworked, we're wrongly worked. And I thought that was just really well said. We're not overworked, we're wrongly worked. So if you're doing something that you're wired to do, you're not overworked. You feel a sense of ease doing it. Mine comes out extrovert. And sometimes, I get energy being alone too. Then creative, feeling, like I'll cry a sad part in the movie, and perceiving. And I like to shop around. I don't like to just make quick judgments. And this test really helped me a lot to see that, people that are judging, I'm like, wait a minute, you don't know that for sure. Like, some people come across like they know it all. And I'm like, well, are you sure on that? Like, they shoot from the hip a lot. It's just not there's some jobs that works well for. And this test really helps you understand other people, help me understand. Like, sometimes introverted people, like, I don't get along with, or it's not that I don't get along with them, but it's like they don't get along with me. And it's kind of like there's a jealousy between that. They wish they were more of an extrovert. And there's some frictions with some of these other ones, but it's just good to understand what these are. Like ENFP, it says I should be one is a motivational speaker or coach, because I have a hard time lighting a fire under myself to get things done. Or storytelling, writing screenplays. And I always thought, wow, screenplays, I could never do that. Like, that's like sitting there at a typewriter, like back in the day before computers, you see typewriters writing out a script. That would be like ultra genius. But this test was like, nope, that's the way you're wired. And the thing is interesting about this test is that a lot of people pick careers that are like secure or they can make money at or whatever, and they don't really do what they're called to do. And it's just really good to know these different things. Like, and it just helps you understand other people. Like one I remember is ENTJ, and it's called a field marshal, like someone they're an extrovert, they're creative, but they're thinking, they're making rational decisions, and they're trying to make quick decisions, getting things done. I would say someone like Donald Trump is an ENTJ, like a field marshal. And so sometimes that can cause friction for people. Someone who says no to things, especially if they have a codependency issues, they don't like people that say no because they're used to saying yes. So, okay, now we know what our talent is. There's a thing called ikigai, and it's Japanese. It's like, what do you love doing? What can you make money at doing? What are you talented at? Talent. And the last one is, what does the world need? Because a lot of times what people can end up doing is doing what they can make money at and they're talented at, and maybe they love doing, but there's a sense of, well, am I really doing what the world needs? And there's other times when people are doing what the world needs and they love doing and they're talented at it, they're not making any money at it. Like they're kind of mission, like organizations or something. There's a lot of talent, there's a lot of things in here, but I'd say the big one for this would be more like the Myers-Briggs would be, what is your talent? And then how can you combine that with all these? And you kind of want to get in here eventually, so close to that, where you're doing what the world needs. It's easy to do stuff that you're talented at, you make money at, and you love, but is it really what the world needs? I think a lot of like actors fall into this, or people in the public. They're kind of afraid to stick their nose out, like in not just politics, but like just for different things that they're concerned about. And more of that's needed, people to stick their neck out. I heard this gal named Cody Sanchez, she's all over YouTube. She's talking about that there are a lot of people that don't want to take a stand on things, and they just don't want to affect their audience. I mean, you look at someone like, even like Trump, how much money he's lost by throwing his hat into the political arena, and people, yeah, he's money, blah 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 blah. Anyway, he's lost money too, but I'm just saying that's just an example of someone putting themselves out, and then all of a sudden they lose a lot of friends that used to talk to them, and they don't communicate anymore, and it's just too bad. So we're going to look at, what is your burden? What is, I don't say a burden, kind of tied to this, just to mind map this. What is the pain that you can fix? a lot of businesses are kind of based on this. Even like Amazon, it solves the pain. It got it so people can get their items quicker, and solve the pain of having to go to shop at the store. You just boom, hit it, and then you hit that one click buying, and what pain you can fix. That's just one other thing. Like even like on YouTube, what are people talking about? What's important? And you do the things you love, and you can do your talented things, but is it what the world needs, or how can I liked what Zig Ziglar said is help others succeed, and then you'll succeed, and then you'll succeed. You're helping the world, or even just keeping your eyes open. If you're doing like a YouTube channel, maybe you search what are people interested in finding out about. Maybe that's not important. Maybe what the people need and they don't even know. I read a lot of books. And this is actually I like graphs like this because it kind of helps visually. A picture's worth 1,000 words. There's another book out called Finding Your Why. Like, what is it? Your why. Like, why am I here? And it's guy. Oh man, Finding Your Why. I don't have his name written down. I have it written down here somewhere. Should give credit to the sponsor. Simon Sinek. And he talks about your why. Again, there's graph of why am I here? Why am I here? And how can I help survive? How can I survive? And the third circle is what? Like, what can I produce? Like, say you write a book, you do a podcast, but there's a resistance. There's a book out called The Art of War, and or The War of Art, excuse me, he talks about resistance to this. Why am I here? So there's an opposite side of like just becoming numb, like comfortably numb to why am I here? Like I don't care. I'm running out of time. I would say addictions, even like dopamine addictions, whatever, to escape. And then, let's see, this would be like risky behavior. Yeah, like a gambling addiction. Or even like, you hear a lot about sex addiction now, and sex and relationship addiction. what would be a risky behavior, like hanging around places you shouldn't be, going to casinos, driving by casinos, and then what would be a healthy, like, what can I do? To stop this, I would say, uh, like, getting a support, getting like a coach that deals with the issues that you're dealing with, or a counselor, 12-step meetings, like a recovery church, churches that real issues, calls, writing, because we have this resistance to doing things. Stephen Pressfield, he had The War of Art, and he talked about, we have this thing why we're here, but we resist it. So we just don't process it. Cody Sanchez, mentioned her already, but one of the reasons is God. If you have a faith in God, then why am I here? It becomes, a lot of people will have for why am I here of being like family. Some loved ones. I'm here to support my family. That's a real simple one. But more than that is, if you have a relationship with God, you're just here to glorify God, not just yourself. And you see that a lot in pro athletes, a lot of motivational speakers that I know that are, and they don't really talk about it because they're in like corporate event situations. They don't really want to talk about their faith. And they're hoping it will kind of come around to that. Funny when you say names of some famous motivational speakers that have faith. Because who knows, for sure. But if you have a faith in something greater than yourself, if it's just for you, it's hard to have, like, why am I here just to survive? For me, that's a great thing to have, and then you can help others. But knowing your why, a lot about burden is, what pain have you been through? Say you grew up in an alcoholic family, you grew up in a tyranny where you had oppression. I've seen this guy who did a movie about rescuing children that are in slavery, kidnapped, and he was almost kidnapped as a child, him and his brother. And so it's a beautiful story of someone that used the pain that they experienced, or just that feeling of out of control that they experienced, to help other people. What pain can you fix? And now it's just like life mission. So I hope that gives you some things to think about. Like, what I would start with this, number one, the Myers-Briggs, and then that will help you see how you can use your talents to help the world. And if it's the thing you love and you can make money at it, then you're golden. So if you need help with anything, if you need some kind of coaching, I do free sessions for people that want to try it out, and just go from there, see if it works for you. But I want to have people take this test. You can send you a link, you can send me a message, and then we'll You guys got something out of that. We're gonna have to go to the next session. Oops.